So the nature of the Vision Pro is to be obviously on your face at all times. It's a spatial computer. The way that you actually use it is with your eyeballs. And with that comes the nature of your oily skin and wanting to clean this thing because, again, this thing is going to be on your face for hours on end, especially if it's going to be your main computer. So in this video, what I want to do is show you guys how to properly clean each component of the actual Vision Pro. And if you guys have ever played a sport that involves a helmet, like football or something like that, then you know that eventually you start to get a bunch of pimples in the shape of whatever's on your face because this area of your face is extremely oily. So the last thing I personally want is to get a frame of pimples around my eyes and my forehead all the way to my nose. So without further ado, let's talk about each component of the Vision Pro and then how to clean one according to Apple to make sure that it stays as fresh as possible whenever it's in use. Let's get into it. So the material design choices that Apple decided to go with when it comes to the Vision Pro is a mixture of glass, aluminum, and then a bunch of this like fabric type material, which honestly out of the box, you don't really know how to actually clean it because it's not as easy as just wiping off the glass of fingerprints. But let's get into the actual components of the Vision Pro itself, and you can kind of see that whether or not you have one or not, it actually works based on magnets, and there's different sections of the Vision Pro that actually touch your face and others that actually never do. So the piece that you're going to definitely want to clean the most and most often is the actual light seal cushion. So this is the light seal cushion right here, and as you can see, it is a small piece of fabric that does have a nice little cushiony kind of pillowy texture, and the back side of it is this rubber magnetic kind of like plastic also that allows it to attach to the actual light seal itself. Now there's a reason why this is the cheapest component of the Vision Pro that you can get directly from Apple, and also it comes with a secondary one in the box when you do buy it, because I think Apple envisions us using multiple of these throughout the lifespan of the Vision Pro. Like eventually I do think there will be some workout stuff, and if you guys do want to see some kind of actual fitness content with the Vision Pro and see what that looks like, definitely check out Colin Jenkins from Connect the Watts, and he also has a great video of how to clean this Vision Pro because he does actually use it and sweat in it, which is something that I'm not going to be doing. But I'm sure Apple is going to envision us buying a bunch of these and then using them over time instead of continuously washing them. But if you don't want to buy a bunch of these and you do want to get a nice lifespan out of the light seal cushion, it's very simple to actually clean up. So basically what you want to do is mix non-scented dish soap with some water and then dunk this into the water and make sure that it does soak up all that dish soap. Let it sit there for a couple minutes and then take it out of the water, kind of squeeze out the excess water and then let it air dry. It takes about 4 to 5 hours for it to air dry, especially if you're using it in front of a fan or something like that. But this is the number one piece that you're going to want to clean the most because it is on your face, like I mentioned. There's a lot of oils on your face that eventually could turn into something like extra acne all over your face if you are prone to that, which is something that a lot of people might be dealing with if they actually sweat in this a decent amount. Now this process is also recommended to be done for the actual head strap itself for the solo nip band, as well as the dual band to actually clean that up. Now, when it comes to the actual light seal itself, that's where it gets a little bit different. So the next component that you're going to want to take a look at is the actual light seal. So the light seal is the part that actually, again, blocks the light from getting in when you are in use, and this actually doesn't touch your face. So unless you're really sweating in this and it kind of gets and perspires onto the actual light seal itself, you should be okay in terms of how often you want to clean this thing because like I mentioned, it won't actually be touching any part of your body, but you do want to also clean this on occasion. And they actually recommend taking a very damp paper towel or damp towel that does have some dish soap on it and then just rubbing the actual fabric itself because this does have the weird combination of fabric and some hard plastic and things like that. So, but it's too rigid to actually dunk in water. What you want to do and what Apple recommends to just clean it with a damp cloth until it is actually clean and then again air dry it. So that is the actual light seal and that component, which is very easy to clean. And then when it comes to the actual aesthetic piece of it, which is the actual front glass, which is a fingerprint magnet, let me tell you, like I'm showing you this right now without it being clean, I'm going to clean it live, but it is a fingerprint magnet, so definitely you're going to want to have that microfiber cloth that's included in the packaging to clean this off, and that is how Apple recommends it. Apple does not recommend using any type of liquid, any kind of soap, any type of dampness to clean this front part. I personally like to use a spray. I use the one by Paperlike that I've been using on my iPad for years, and I kind of just spray that on the front actual glass panel, and then use a microfiber cloth to clean off the actual fingerprints. And then same thing applies for the inside lenses. Now these are actual screens themselves. They are made out of glass, and I have not actually used any type of liquid for this part because I don't know, it should be the same as the front part, but at the end of the day, I'm going to follow Apple's instructions to make sure I don't get this thing wet. But this is just going to be what Apple recommends, which is a microfiber cloth as well. So Apple does not recommend using any type of isopropyl alcohol, any baby wipes, anything like that. They want to keep it dry, and they just keep recommending using a microfiber cloth. And for the most part, that's pretty much all I've been needing to use. I have not actually touched the inside screens with my fingers because there's no real need to, so it doesn't really get too dirty, if at all. Maybe some lint and some dust gets in there, but definitely clean it at least once a week to make sure there isn't anything in there to get the most optimal screen viewing experience that Apple wants you to get. So basically, if it has glass on it, use a microfiber cloth without any water. If you want to spray some sort of kind of liquid, like I mentioned, the paper-like solution, definitely do that on the front portion. And then anything that has fabric itself, you're going to want to use dish soap with some room temperature water or a little bit of a warm water, and then let it air dry after you're done. And then for the speaker band itself, where the actual speakers are on the side, that is made out of this kind of like rubbery hard plastic material. And I have been using a damp cloth for that one as well, because it's, again, you can kind of see that the material can handle a little bit of dampness, and this air dries pretty much immediately because there is no fabric to this part, so it's very easy to clean that part. But that's basically all you need to know. Obviously, don't get this super wet, don't dunk this into water, this doesn't go in the dishwasher, this doesn't go in the washing machine, but you should definitely want to clean this every so often, at least once a week, maybe twice a week if you don't really sweat in it. And the light seal cushion, if you do want to get more of those, depending on what situation you're using the Apple Vision Pro in, because I can see this in the summertime and people wanting to use this outside, maybe getting a little bit of sweat from the forehead dripping in, or maybe eventually Apple will give us some applications like Apple Fitness Plus integration into here, and maybe Apple will want us to work out in this. I, for one, have not worked out in this because, like I mentioned, it's a little too heavy, it does get a little too warm after a while, especially if you are working out and things like that. But if you want to see somebody push the limits of it, go over, like I mentioned, to Colin Jenkins, and he has been testing this Vision Pro in workout environments and really sweating in it. And what he's been doing is using two different light seal cushions, for one for kind of like the indoor normal work stuff and leisure, and the other for that fitness aspect. But now you know how to properly clean your Vision Pro and how to take care of your $4,000 device, and make sure that also you don't get a bunch of acne on your face because you have this thing on for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. But that's going to do it for this video. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch some more Vision Pro videos, click on one of these right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace. Happy cleaning.